We're going to be getting more people that will be coming around. And we want to, first of all, it's incumbent upon us, first of all, to thank the people and the Canadian Muslims who started this, who conceived of this idea, who were tired of, yes. In particular, I'd like to draw attention and thank Khalil al-Sheikh, who is the original man who conceived of this idea. We want to thank Dr. Bahira in Toronto, who has done a lot of good work to bring people together to know what the government is doing to our children and what is being pushed and foisted on our children. I'd like to also thank the organizers of our local March for Children, Brian and Carolyn. Thank the Niagara 10 floor group. But most of all, I would like to thank you for having enough courage and having enough determination to come here and have your voice heard and be present. Thank you. Thank you to all of you who are here right now. During the pandemic, we were told to follow the science. Now these same people, many of these same people, are telling us that a man can become a woman. Now I have, apparently, it's an ultra far right-wing conspiracy theory to say that a man cannot become a woman, because I would ask you this question. I would ask you, I know that there are men who think there are women, there are men who dress as women, there are men who have surgeries and take hormones in order to look more like women. But I ask you, and I ask anyone who is serious about truth, how can a man become a woman? You know, in our great country, it's been built on freedom. Every adult has the ability to choose how they want to live their lives. People can choose to live their lives however they want, and this is always what has made Canada great. Respect for one another, and love and compassion and understanding for all of our neighbors. And love and compassion is the only way forward. Now there are people here who hold the view that it is okay to gender transition a child. It is okay for biological males to use change rooms with my daughter. That it is okay to have men compete against women in women's sports. That is not okay. That is not okay. And those things, the genital mutilation of children, giving puberty blockers to children who are not old enough to vote, who are not old enough to drive, who are not old enough to drink. There are reasons why we have these ages of consent, because they matter and they're important for a developing mind to respect the child and to protect the child. Now, the people who hold these views, I don't hate them. I don't hate anyone. I hate their opinions. I hate this ideology that they have. But I love all people. I love even the ones who are foisting this evil on me. Not because I love what they're foisting on me or because the lies they're pushing. I love them because they are also my friends, my family, our fellow countrymen. How will we move forward if we are not united in love and unity and understanding? And we are hearing all the time that our strength, diversity is our strength, unity is our strength. How do we become united with people who believe that it is okay to mutilate the genitals of a young boy or a young girl? It is not okay. But we must be able to have a dialogue with these people in some way, even though they hate us. They believe we have hateful, abhorrent views. Let's find some common ground. I'm going to ask you to consider, what is the common ground that we can find with people who believe it's okay to teach children, to have grown men read pornography to children in school? I believe, I'm not going to question their intentions. I believe the people who wear the t-shirt that says, protect trans kids, I'm not going to question their intentions. I believe that they truly want to protect kids. But what I do question is I do question their judgment, and I question their process of how they are to protect trans kids. Now one other spot, so I think I can find two spots where we can find common ground with these people who have these views that are in contrast to what the people here believe and what we're here to stand for, to protect our kids. I also believe that we can agree, all people can agree, that truth is love and lies are hate. I believe we can all agree on that.
Amen.
I believe we can we all agree?
Yeah.
Truth is love, lies are hate. So, let me bring this to your attention. So I brought up this t-shirt that says protect trans kids, and it has a crude scalpel on this t-shirt. So I ask you, first of all, I want you to consider the word trans kids. This is a made-up label in order to group these children together who are suffering from gender dysphoria, who are vulnerable, who need our protection. They are the most vulnerable ones. I believe there is no such thing as a trans kid. There are boys and there are girls. There are boys who maybe are more effeminate, and maybe there are girls who like to have more so-called stereotypical boyish things. But there is no such thing as a trans kid. Now, when these people tell you what they believe protecting trans kids means, believe them, because they show you on their t-shirt this crude cutting scalpel. I'm going to ask a question now. What does a scalpel have to do with protecting any child?
1, 2.
What does a scalpel have to do with protecting any child? A scalpel is meant for cutting, for removing, not adding. Does a scalpel protect any child? A child who is vulnerable, a child who needs our love, a child who needs an adult, not to give them a scalpel and remove parts of them that are working fine. They need someone who will listen to them, who will speak truth to them, who will give them a hug and will be there for them. Now, let's go back to our two assumptions that we can agree on, where we can have dialogue with people who have these views that are contrary to ours. So we both want to protect children. We can agree on that, and we both agree, everyone can agree, that lies are hate and truth is love. We can all agree on that. I think anybody here who is even opposed to our ideas will agree with that. Let me give you an example. Let's say a little girl comes to me and she tells me, or anybody, let's say just anybody, says, I believe I'm a bird. There are two answers. There is yes, yes dear, you are a bird. Or no, you are not a bird. One, let's work through it and determine, because we will know a lie by its fruits. We will know the truth also by its fruits. So we tell this girl, let's work this through. Yes, you are a bird. I love you. Okay, this girl, even though the intent is love, I'm not questioning the intention of the person who's telling this child, this innocent child, that they're a bird. This child does what a bird does, goes into a tree and lives in a tree. This child then, because she believes she's a bird, she jumps out of the tree because birds fly. She's a bird. She was told by an authority figure that she is a bird. And she dies. She drops to her death because she's a bird. She believes she can fly. Now, let's look at the example of someone who says, the little girl comes and says, I'm a bird. No, you're not. You're a beautiful girl. But I know I'm a bird. I'm a bird. I know I'm a bird. No, you're not. It's at that point you may say it's easier to say, yes, you are a bird. But it's not the loving thing. And how do we know it's not the loving thing to tell the child that she is a bird? Because it will lead to her death. Now, there are many children that are being lied to right now. Many, many children that are being lied to right now. Some of them, at some point in the future, will realize that they have been lied to. They are going to need our support. They are going to need our love. We need to love every child now and tell them the truth. Because if we tell them lies, it will lead to destruction and heartache for them in the future. But when they realize, if they've taken drastic steps to gender transition, because they were told by their teachers, they were told by their doctors, that yes, we are going to provide you with this so-called gender-affirming care, they will realize that they have been lied to at some point in the future. We need to be there for them, to support them, to love them, to encourage them, and to get them through this. Now, every child is worthy of protection, dignity, and affirmation. We all agree on this, and we must do it with love and also with compassion. Now, I'm going to bring up Bill C-4. We must be aware of this bill. Bill C-4. This would be the equivalent of, if it didn't actually happen, you would believe that it was part of a dystopian movie. Bill C-4 is a bill that criminalizes parents for if the government says their children have to change gender, you as a parent become a criminal if you tell your child that no, they can't go through this surgery. And it also legalized the transition, the transgender transitioning for minors. This is the part that is out of a dystopian movie. Every single MP in Canada, all right, every single MP in Canada voted in favor of gender transitioning of minors. Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the Conservative Party, apparently he is a very big pro-family. He voted for it. He voted to make it illegal for you to talk to your kids and to tell your kids that they shouldn't gender transition. No. Now, this is our government money. These are our elected officials. How about our bureaucrats and our unelected officials? Are they any better? Are they trying to help the children? I would like to draw your attention to a Zoom call of public employee unions. Unions that the employees are paid for by our tax dollars. There are people here who are represented by these unions. On that Zoom call, it's great because they all have their names and you can hear exactly who's saying what. So you can see the disdain they have for parents. They call so-called these parents fascists. So if you believe it's wrong to gender transition a child or mutilate the genitals of a child, apparently you are a fascist, according to this Zoom call of the Canadian Federation of Labor, CUPE, and it was September 16th was this call. And there's also a list. Odessa Orlowicz, you can find this video on her Twitter feed. I would encourage you, if you belong to one of these unions, ask them, are they representing you? Are they representing you in labor negotiations, or are they telling you what to think? Are they trying to push into your mind what you believe to think? It is not the job of government to tell you what you should believe. It is the job of government to protect your rights so that you can believe what you want to believe. Now, these bureaucrats and these politicians, they must know that we are united and that we will stand for what is good, true, and just. So I'm going to ask all of you here with me. I'm going to ask a series of 8 questions of affirmation and of what we are willing to do. And I want the bureaucrats in the building behind you and in front of me, I want the politicians in Toronto, I want the politicians in Ottawa to hear, are we willing to make a personal commitment to stand for what is good, true, and just? I will ask these questions. If you agree with me, say I will when I read the question. Who will tell a child that they are perfect just the way they are? I will. Who will tell a child that they are beautiful just the way they are? I will. Who will tell a child that they are loved just the way they are? I will. Who will tell a child that they are worth protecting just the way they are? I will. Who will tell a child that their body is perfect just the way it is? I will. Who will tell a child that their body is beautiful just the way it is? I will. Who will tell a child that their body is loved just the way it is? I will. This is the final one. Make sure they can hear us.